I know we could get some.
Okay, so you're in.
No. No, I am one and done. I'm gonna need a cut just so I can get myself set up so I can work on my art. I don't want shit else to do with this business, Monet.
Now, the problem with what Dru agreed to towards the end of 405, once you're in, there is no going back. And he should definitely know that, especially after he said something very similar to Diana in 402. He was out, and I do think he is going to regret this moment. But Dru is in a space right now where he has nothing more to lose, and that's a dangerous place to be. You've already lost your father, you've already plotted against your mother, you're not married, you don't have any kids. There's none of that where he's worried about anything or anybody relying on him. He can be as reckless and as fearless as he wants, because he believes in what he's doing so strongly. That's a quote from Lovell Adams, talking about where Dru is in terms of his mindset at this moment in time, and he is right. He doesn't have much more to lose in season 4. He was twice looking down the barrel of a gun in recent episodes, but he just continued to deliver some home truths. He wasn't worried about whether Monet or Kane would pull the trigger, he was just focused on being heard. He wanted to speak what was locked up inside for a really long time, and that's where he is as a character. He has nothing more to lose, which also makes him very dangerous. So, in the rest of this breakdown, we're going to run through Dru's character arc in a bit more detail, how he got to this particular position he finds himself in, his relationship with Monet, the battle with Kane, but how he could also end up here, with what looks like him battered and bruised in jail, and what that could do to him. So, there is a lot to unpack with Dru's character for all things Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 4. Now, going into Season 4, all eyes were of course on this storyline with his betrayal. He still wanted to protect his secret by trying to get rid of either Monet or Tariq, which told us everything we needed to know in terms of where his mindset was. He was done with his mother, but was also acting very reckless. However, if we were to peel back the layers and have a look at what led to Dru making some of the decisions he made, and also what he was trying to do at the beginning of Season 4, it was through all the hurt, pain, anger, the lies, the manipulation, and what Monet took from Dru. He clearly had more of a different relationship with Lorenzo than he did with Monet, which is why he was never able to forgive Monet the way Kane was, but also because I feel the way Dru had a different relationship with Lorenzo, Kane has a different kind of special bond with Monet, which they haven't kind of tapped into just yet. I do think they're kind of saving that particular flashback for a particular moment in part 2, which will probably give us the answers as to why he's such a mama's boy. But Monet didn't just take away Gordo and Lorenzo. As we started to learn in Season 4 through various flashbacks, she also took away the one thing Dru loved. She also forced him into the game, where we really saw what impact it had on him, which you could clearly tell was his first kill. Now, instead of acknowledging her mistakes and flaws in regards to what she put him through, what she had him doing when he was a kid, and what she did in regards to Gordo and Lorenzo, she was more so trying to justify her actions, but unfortunately, that was the problem.
Family first don't mean shit no more. It's just a phrase you use to control and manipulate us. Family's just business to you.
Everything I've done with this business was for this family.
What? Family, Monet?
Now, we did also see them kind of patch this relationship up, but just hold on to that thought. I am going to come back around to how it's going to get even more complex with Carter's introduction.
We're drug dealers. That's the family business. That's who we are.
Now, even though we did see Dru making some very reckless moves at the beginning of 401, especially with Rebecca, he did come around to the idea of what Kane said to him towards the end of Season 3. They're drug dealers and that's all they ever will be. So, he wanted to prove himself to Noma and work his way up to becoming her number 2, which is where we saw this battle with Kane with both of them trying to prove their worth to Noma, but there was a huge difference in the jobs that Noma gave to both. She told Kane he was going to take over Obi's responsibilities. In essence, it was a bit of a promotion, but gave Dru a less of a task, which was to find Obi.
No more using me like I'm some kind of corner boy, making me do the shit that you don't want to do.
Something I mentioned in one of my comments after episode 403, it was never shake hands with a Tejada, because they will snake you. Of course, we know that as the audience after watching them for 3.5 seasons, but unfortunately for Obi, he didn't. And what Dru did to Obi really was fucked up, but he did so because he thought if he could get rid of Obi, he might be able to take his place. Little did he know, Kane got there first.
You do see why we did what we did, right?
No, I don't. That's our fucking moms.
And Lorenzo was our pops. Fuck. She get away with doing what she did to us. Keeps getting a pass. Do you even care that Poppy is gone because of her?
Now, we all know this battle with Kane was going to be much more than just for the number 2 position under Noma. As soon as the betrayal came to light, this was inevitable. And I do think what Dru said to not just Kane, but also Monet was all facts. Just have a look at what Monet's done. Look at what she's had them doing since they were kids. Just have a look at what she took from them. How can Kane give her a pass for what she did? Which goes all the way back to the point about Kane having a backstory they haven't tapped into just yet. But I do feel this battle with Kane definitely isn't over. With Kane now working for Noma as a number 2, and with Dru and Monet wrapped around Carter's thumb after 405, I do feel like we are going to see them at it in the streets once again. And what could lead to Kane vs Dru round 2 is the shipment of drugs they stole from Noma. Now going into part 2, when the Tejadas get their operation back up and running, there's obviously going to be questions from Kane. How are his family back in business with all this product if they don't have a connect? It's pretty convenient that they're back in business after Noma's product got hit, and the kind of character that Kane is, with him being able to play detective and putting 2 plus 2 together, you would expect him to figure out pretty quickly who exactly hit them. So this is where it gets really interesting. Kane is someone who's done being a mama's boy, but when it is revealed the Tejadas were behind stealing this shipment, I feel Noma's going to give Kane a choice to make. If you want to prove your loyalty, then you know what needs to be done. There is no way Noma lets this go unanswered. So you do get the feeling that they're kind of setting it up for Kane vs Dru round 2, around the stolen shipment of drugs, and when they do meet, what will Kane do? We all know last time at the bodega, he stood down on the orders of Monet, but if Noma gives him the order, it's going to put him in a really difficult position. Despite what Kane thinks of Dru and Diana, despite what they've done, at the end of the day, Dru is still his brother. So, I do feel like Kane will have a big decision to make when it comes to choosing who to side with. We all know Dru is capable of killing someone he loves, but is Kane? Let's see. I'm definitely expecting this to be the center of the storm between the two, for sure. Now, we also know Dru was looking to get back to doing what he's wanted to do since the beginning of season 1. However, the fact that he now finds himself under Carter's thumb, the drug shipment that they stole from Noma, you do have to think, the dream of him being an aspiring artist is definitely over. It's just a dream, a fantasy, an alternate life that he could have lived had things played out a little different when he was a kid. If Monet pushed him, to kind of pursue his passion, instead of pushing him into the streets. Now, heading into the home stretch for part 2 of Ghost, we've also got Dru being dragged by 2 prison guards, and I do personally believe Dru does find himself in jail. With what he's wearing, the 2 guards, the background, it does look like he's battered and bruised in jail, either by the prison guards or someone that he's come across. But the question is, how has he found himself in this position? Has Carter moved the goalposts in regards to the deal he made with them at the end of 405? I mean, this is one of the most dirtiest cops we've come across in Power in a different way, so it really wouldn't surprise me at all if he did. Could a civilian also have been harmed in the streets, or could Carter have learned about Salim's death, who, let's not forget, is a civilian? You do have to assume something definitely has to have changed for them to raid the Tejada house and Dru ending up in jail. But now that Dru is in jail, what will that do to his character? We know unlike Tariq, Dru can actually throw hands and he can actually fight. Even though he did get beat by Kane in 404, we have seen moments across 4 seasons of Ghost to tell us Dru can hold it down. But what will this do to Dru? He doesn't have too much to live for as it is, and the fact that he's wrapped around Carter's thumb pushes him even deeper into the game, which is the complete opposite of what he wanted. He initially wanted to hit this shipment with Monet, take his cut and then bounce, but that's definitely not going to happen. And when he finds himself here, it definitely kind of adds to him not having much to live for. Everything that he's loved has definitely been taken away from him. His love for art, any kind of relationship with Ev or Gordo, his relationship with his father, and now this. So, we all know what happens in Power when they start to strip away everything from a character. And I do feel this is the direction they're taking Dru's story arc. They're giving him a bit of hope, a chance that he can kind of rebuild his family, maybe even not, but only to rip it away. But that's where we are with Dru's character arc heading into the home stretch. He's got nothing more to lose, but there's definitely going to be a lot more tougher times ahead, that's for sure. Will he make it out alive from season 4? I personally don't think so, but if he doesn't, who pulls the trigger? Will it be Kane? Could we see a Kane and Abel storyline, or will we see something different? I do think there will be a few twists and turns, that's for sure, but let's see if Dru is one of them, and let's see what they've got up their sleeve. Drop all your thoughts and predictions down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.